I mean, we're all aware that the King James Version is the least accurate Bible translation widely available on the market today, right? Let me explain, and I'll give you the right one. Hi, I'm Jeremy. I'm a deep skeptic, also a pastor. So a lot of people think that because the King James Version is older, that it makes it more reliable because it's like closer in time to Jesus. But the fact that it's older is actually one of the things that makes it less accurate. Because since the King James Version was translated, we have found a lot of older copies of the text, right? We don't have anything written by Paul or Moses or anything like that, but archaeology has unearthed a lot of fragments and books of the Bible that are older than the ones that the King James Version was used, that the King James Version used to translate the Bible. And one of the things that those discoveries have shown us is that there are several passages, single verses and large sections, that are just not in the original texts. And so modern translations will not have those verses at all, because some we can actually see where they were written in by hand. And then some things will be like bracketed or grayed out, or an asterisk that says, hey, this isn't really in there. You can find that. The whole sort of ending to the book of Mark, the last part with the holding snakes and drinking poison, yeah, that's not in the original manuscripts. The other thing that people like to say is that they like the King James because it sounds old, and it sounds old because it was written in the style of speaking at that time. But that's not the case. The King James Version is hard to understand, not just because it's older English, and that's another thing, but also because they used the syntax of the original language to map the English words on. And when it came out, the primary criticism was that it was hard to understand, that people didn't actually talk like that. People never talked like the King James Version of the Bible is written. So that's important. The other thing is there are words that have changed their meaning since then. Like the word charity isn't something that a way that we support nonprofits. Charity is love. There's another idiom, like to make a difference. To make a difference is to make. It's not to like have a positive impact on the world or on somebody's life. The phrase "to make a difference" in the King James means to make a distinction, to like figure the difference between two things. I go on and on. There's all sorts of problems with some guidelines that King James actually gave the translators. The fact that they use something called the Bishop's Bible as one of their primary sources, and it's almost just a revision of the Bishop's Bible. But let's just be clear. The academic consensus is it's not accurate. And it's interesting as a historical piece, but if you want an accurate translation of the Bible, let me give them to you. So if you look at the academic consensus, right, the people who are biblical scholars and which English translation they say is the best, it is clear there's no contest. It's the New Revised Standard Updated Edition, the NRSVUE. Now, I also like the CEB, the Common English Bible. It's a little bit easier to read sometimes, but if you want the gold standard for English translation, it is the New Revised Standard Updated Edition. So there you have it.